What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by Galadon Gaming Fire and Ice. We're talking about the new Ice Spirit card and all of the new exciting strategies that seem to be emerging from this most recent update. Now I haven't found the log yet. A little bit disappointed about that, despite the fact that I opened, I think it was like 8 super magical chests during that last big Mob Crush tournament and got 4 legendary cards. None of them were the log, so I'm still logless. So hoping to find a log very soon. Anyway, so we're going to watch Kai from Full Attack today. He has been using Fire Spirits and the Ice Spirit card together with quite a bit of success, getting in there with both of the spirits. And I gotta love the Ice Spirit card. Half the cost of the zap, twice the stun, but it is more difficult to use because it's not a dumb drop and go card. You're going to have to make sure it doesn't get wiped out. But speaking of wiped out, there goes a tower. Kai taking an early lead over a higher level opponent. And he didn't need the spirits for that one. That was all Hog Rider and minions getting in there. One of my new favorite combinations, the minion horde and either the Hog Rider or the mini P.E.K.K.A. Loving how it gets in there. Also can be really well used with the lumberjack, of course, and the miner. So right here, Kai with a big early lead with 1:45 remaining. He's already begun to push down the right lane. I like the timing of the Fire Spirits with the Hog Rider. Of course, they get taken out by the Princess, and he's going to lose a tower of his own. So right away, he had already moved to focus on that right tower. Really figured, especially when you're facing a higher level opponent, you might have to grab that second tower and shoot for the 2-1 win, and that is exactly what we were seeing here. Kai now focused going down the right lane, and let's see if he gets a chance to use this fire and ice combination during the last minute of this battle. And speaking of minion hordes, another great nerf card, another great counter to the minion horde is, of course, the Ice Spirit. Does a great job of doing damage and stopping them for 2 full seconds. Even better than a zap spell, although it's not quite as fast. You're not going to usually have to worry about the minions taking out the Ice Spirit before it gets to them. And right here, Kai trying to use the fire and ice combination. Works out well on the right tower as he's just about to finish it off. The Princess versus Princess battle here. A great position right there. He's able to get the tower and the Princess and takes the 2-1 lead during the last 35 seconds of the battle. The big defensive Inferno Tower back there stopping the Hog Rider. It is going to also redirect it after the King's Tower. So things are looking good for Kai. He just has to control his opponent for the next 20 seconds or so, and he is going to grab the W. He sends in a Hog Rider down the left lane after the King's Tower, defending against a whole bunch of minions. He's just about came very close to losing that tower. The Fire Spirit's working out well. He's got to stop that Hog Rider. And there it is with the final 5 seconds. The clutch Inferno Tower and an Ice Spirit just to ensure the Hog doesn't get through. And Kai grabs the taunt-filled 2-1 win. But it wasn't a fluke. Kai using this deck over and over with a great deal of success. We get right into another battle, 9 versus 9. Again, the Fire and Ice Hog Rider deck. Also, fire, of course, coming from that Inferno Tower. But right here, check out the Ice Spirit as it goes in and freezes the entire group of barbarians. And that at least allows that Hog Rider 1 extra shot on the tower. And right away, we're only 20 seconds into this battle, and he's already got that tower down to about 1/3 of its full health. Right here, the zap spell stopping the last of those units. The barbarians only going to get a shot or 2 in. And here comes the next push from Kai. Check this one out. Hog Rider Fire Spirits, and watch the Fire Spirits go get those minions out of the way. And that is a huge advantage. That Hog Rider is going to annihilate that tower. And that just was an unfortunate choice of counters and a great anticipation by Kai, sending in the Fire Spirits and allowing him again to grab a big early lead going into the final 2 minutes of this battle. Now right here, Kai is going to choose to drop the Ice Spirit card, and really, he didn't have much of a choice. I think he's anticipating a big offensive push. Sure enough, here it comes. So the Ice Spirit not going to get much done off to the left. In fact, nothing at all. You can see the Inferno Tower doing a great job on that Royal Giant. Great timing and placement of the Inferno Tower. Much like spells in Clash of Clans, it all comes down to timing and placement when you're trying to defend a big push like that, especially against a Royal Giant. Here we go once again, Hog Rider and Fire Spirits, and check out the amount of damage done to that Barbarian group right there. almost completely wiping them out. The Hog Rider doesn't get a great deal of damage done, but the Fire Spirits certainly did, and that was definitely a positive elixir trade, also giving Kai several hundred hit points off that tower, putting him even further in control of this match. Now, these Spear Goblins do get in and kind of confuse things a little bit, but the Inferno Tower eventually gets onto the Royal Giant. Kai dropping the oops because he did not get that Inferno Tower in time. The Royal Giant gets a lot of damage, and this Poison Spell, not a fan of dropping the Poison Spell on a tower alone. Really didn't make a lot of sense to put it on the Inferno Tower, and in the meantime, Kai is pushed down the left-hand side with the Hog Rider and the Minion Horde, and just blasted through that tower, and, well, the battle is pretty much over at this point. In fact, you can tell that wasn't fast. Wow. That happened so fast, I didn't even know what to say. 3 crowns. All right, let's just move on to another battle. This time it's Kai, level 9 versus a level 11 player, yours, Datey. Anyway, starting off with the Rage, because Kai not too happy about facing a player 2 levels higher, but like several players in full attack, pretty experienced at taking down higher level players. Right here, he's got the Furnace to deal with, and that is surprising. You don't see a lot of Furnaces. I actually would not mind to see the Furnace get a little bit more of a buff so that we saw more of it, but here it goes, Fire and Ice down the left-hand side, and okay, that wasn't so exciting. Well, the Hog Rider got there anyway. Everybody else got burned down by the Zap and the Poison Spell. And what we're really seeing with this strategy is not so much a use of the Fire and the Ice Spirits together as a group, but more it's just the Fire and Ice deck that gives you a lot of flexibility to stop pushes and to get pushes of your own to the tower, like we've seen Kai do again and again and again. Right here, he does have the Fire and Ice Spirits up together. Let's see if he puts something together this time with the Barbarian. That's not a Barbarian, that's a Hog Rider, and it's on the tower. All right, so maybe I either need to get glasses or more rest, but the Hog Rider gets to the tower, giving Kai the early advantage right here on that left lane. It's super close, though. You can see his right lane tower damaged just about as badly as his opponent's left, and now his opponent is going to trickle those Fire Spirits down the left-hand lane. The Miner is going to counter that Princess, but watch the right lane as Kai is getting ready to put together a Fire and Ice Hog Rider push combination. And this is where I feel it's so effective. It's very flexible. If you've got the Fire Spirits and the Ice Spirit running together, there are so many different things they can do, different positive ways to affect. Here they come, Fire and Ice working together. They go off and take down the Goblins. The Fire Spirits take down the other Fire Spirits. They stun the tower, and that Hog Rider is going to get massive amounts of damage done on that tower. So it really doesn't matter what kind of counter you see, the spirits there together are going to be able to handle just about anything between the damage that the Fire Spirits put out and that 2-second freeze. And watch for it again. Here it comes, Fire and Ice with the Hog, and this time all of the spirits converge on the other Hog Rider, and he is just about going to get annihilated before he even touches the tower. Kai's Hog Rider doesn't get there either, but check out the damage on that tower. Kai having the elixir advantage right here because of the super inexpensive spirit cards, and that is a tower down with 20 seconds left in this battle. Kai looking good right here, able to stop just about everything. The Miner's not going to get through. The Poison Spell isn't going to matter. It is inconsequential. Kai just giving himself a little bit of insurance, drops down an Inferno Tower, and takes home a 1-0 win over an opponent 2 levels higher. So we saw this deck used as Fire and Ice separately, and then together at the end of the episode, the Fire and Ice Hog Rider push. Let me know if you guys have unlocked the new cards and if you're using them. If you've got new strategies that haven't been covered before, let me know and maybe I will get them in a future video. Thank you guys as always for sticking around all the way to the end of this episode. I truly appreciate every last one of you, and I hope to see you all back here again tomorrow for more full attacks. And it's just about to run. And the princess plucked the Perky Pepples, Peter Piper And that Ice Spirit is just half the cost for double the value. That's right. Order now and get your second Ice Spirit free. Pay only additional shipping and handling. That's www.kissmyicespirit.com.